So this is a video for artists about dealing with the struggle of happiness. I think a lot of times as artists we get into a space where we get in that trap of I'll be happy when I'm a better artist, or I'll be happy once I master this. And the problem with that is you're never gonna feel like you mastered art. Even the people we refer to as masters, like John Singer Sargent and Bouguereau and Goya and Vermeer, anybody like that, you have to go into their lives and into their biographies, and you realize that none of them ever felt, or very few of them felt like, I've completely mastered this. Even when they're operating at a very high level, there's still things that they want to work on, and that they feel like, even when they're very good compared to everybody else, they still look at their own work and they don't like it. So I think as artists, it's very important for us not to base our happiness on our art, because there's always going to be something that we can improve upon. And if you're waiting for that magical moment of I've mastered art, I'm happy forever. Well, no, because there's always going to be something more you can do, and there's always going to be someone better than you. And this can go for anything in life, whether it's getting in shape, losing weight, or accumulating wealth, anything like that. There's always going to be someone with more than you, and there's always going to be more that you can do. So don't fall into the trap of thinking that, or of delaying your happiness and your fulfillment and putting it into something external. Right? So putting it into, I'll be happy once I have $100,000 in the bank. I'll be happy once I'm this. I'll feel secure once I've achieved this, or I'll feel confident once I've done this. You have to go into yourself and realize that right now you have everything you need to be happy. It's just a matter of perspective. So now that's not to say that there aren't situations in your life that you might want to change. For example, if you're in an abusive relationship, you might need to get out of that relationship before you can truly feel like you're at your best, and you might need to create that sense of safety. So it's not to say there's never any situations that are prohibiting you from being happy. It just means that oftentimes we're in a mental prison, and we've created these rules, for example, in order to be happy, you can finish the sentence. In order to feel happy, I need this. Or your rule for happiness is, I will feel happy when I. And what you might realize, especially if you're a perfectionist, is that your rules for being happy are very, very specific and almost impossible to achieve. If you actually write this down, you might find, I'll be happy when I have a bunch of money, and everybody loves me, and nobody criticizes me, and everybody loves my art, and my art is top 1% in the world, or I'm the best in my industry, and that's when I'll be happy, or something like that, right? A lot of times it's this external stuff. So one thing you can do is, instead of thinking and brainstorming when you're doing mental work, is not going like, this is what I need to be happy, but changing your rules for being happy. Like, I will allow myself to feel happy whenever I try my best. And that'll help you to generate these positive feelings more. Because sometimes it's not an issue of sometimes it's an issue of just not allowing yourself to feel happy because you feel like that's weakness. Or if you allow yourself to feel happy about your art, then you'll lose all motivation to get better at art. And you might like that drive of being miserable. But I really don't think that helps you. I think you'll find that if you allow yourself to feel that happiness at doing something that challenged you, even if it wasn't perfect, that it'll encourage you to make more art and make better art. But anyway, try an experiment where you close your eyes, and instead of imagining all the stuff you want, like, okay, I want this job at Disney, or I want this job at Blizzard. Instead of imagining yourself having that stuff and visualizing it and vision boarding and like, I'm going to have the big house and the nice car, instead of all that, just instead of closing your eyes and imagining having that, Close your eyes and imagine yourself not wanting that. Imagine yourself feeling totally content and not having that desire constantly driving you and making you unhappy. Because a lot of times it's that burning desire to get better that causes us to suffer. And that doesn't mean we can't want to get better. It just means let's not be consumed with that desire and let's not make ourselves miserable. So let's maybe enjoy the journey and not make ourselves miserable by constantly focusing on what we don't have and what we need, because there's always going to be something we need and we want and that we don't have. So let's focus on what we can do right now to get better. Anyway, that's my video journal for the day, and those are just my thoughts and what I'm dealing with, just kind of making myself miserable with thinking about what I don't have, and I don't think that's a good place to operate from. But those are my thoughts. Love anyone who watches these, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.